1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3.
valuable sponsors that make the club do what it's able to do. So, of course, the long associations with West's Ashfield, Vanilla Cheeses in Marrickville, Dasani Properties, Westella Legal, Wahlburgers, Nick Rizzo Football Academy, ICM, Frog Online, Emerson Lewis Lawyers.
Happy Valentine's Day to all you football lovers. We're set for round 2 action in the NPL Men's New South Wales competition for 2026. And what a matchup we have here today at Lambert Park. It is last year's champions hosting last year's premiers. It doesn't get much bigger than this in the early rounds of the season. APIA Leichhardt against Spirit FC. Eric Subihano here with the commentary from Leichhardt. And this is set to be a fantastic showcase of what New South Wales men's football has to offer. Well, for APIA Leichhardt, they're trying to bounce back after a round 1 defeat in the Derby d'Italia, losing 2-1 away to Marconi Stallions. While it was victory first time out for very much a new look Spirit FC. Spirit winning at their beloved Arctic Circle at home 1-0 against Sutherland Sharks. So perhaps for the less initiated in this competition, we're glad to welcome any new fans to our competition. Thanks for your support. There's usual kits for both maroon and light blue for APIA Leichhardt, gold and black for Spirit FC. And the lineups, they are as follows. Firstly, for APIA, starting in goal is number 1, Oliver Kalac. In defense will be the captain, number 16, Sean Simmons. Number 21, Michael Kuda. Number 28, Kyle Shaw. And number 24, Cameron Fong. In midfield, number 22, Eddie Caspers. Number 19, Fabian Monge. And number 8, Michael Conestabro. In an attack, number 2, Seiya Kambayashi. Number 9, Presley Ortiz. And number 17, Jordan Cigretto. On the Spirit bench, backup keeper is Henry Gifford. We also have Jack Stewart, Rory Jordan, Max Court, Oscar Gonzalez, who scored against Marconi last week, Alex Denmead, and Franco Farinella. And we go from one Franco to another because the coach for APIA Leichhardt is Franco Parisi. So APIA with 2 changes from last week's lineup. Former Spirit man Conestabro and Jordan Cigretto coming in to start today. And speaking of former Spirit players, Kyle Shaw also formerly of Spirit FC, but very much in defence for APIA today. Now, for Spirit FC, they made one change from last weekend with Finn Ballack McBride coming into the lineup. The full starting lineup for Spirit is as follows. In goal, number 1, Chris Marks. In defence, number 2, Aidan Mostofi. Number 13, Simon Nicholas. Number 4, Brady Smith. And number 8, their captain, Grant Cornwell. In midfield, I'm expecting number 7, Shoki Yoshida. Number 18, Andre Takami. Number 19, Zain Alawalia. And number 11, Khan Nizam. And in attack, number 21, Finn Ballard McBride is joined by last week's match winner, number 10, Costa Petrados. On the bench, the backup keeper is Jay Coates. The other players you may see later, Kyle Williams, Benjamin Duru, Sam Armson, Charlie Broomhead, Riku Kobayashi, and Thomas Mason. And in charge of Spirit FC is Sergio Malfara. So this is the second of the games to kick off in NPL Men's New South Wales Round 2. There was a 3 p.m. kickoff at the Rudy Hill Turf Farm, and last time I checked, it was actually a Sydney Youth derby. Wanderers leading Sydney FC by 2-0. But anyway, back to Leichhardt, and a little bit of a hesitation, but after the referee's whistle, away we go. So it is the defending premiers, Spirit FC, attacking the goal to our right, or what I like to call the light rail end of Lambert Park in this first half. And it's APIA on the ball. And it's boomed up into the air, allowed to bounce. Kambayashi with the header. And there's Monge. And APIA have some very smart passing to buy their players some space. And it's across here, and then the back pass to Kalac, who's under pressure immediately from Petrados. Good ball out towards halfway, but it's anticipated well by Mostofi. So, and as Caspers getting away from Ballard McBride. That's good skill, and expect that from Caspers. Very neat midfield operator. Noticed that basically from when I first saw him in the Bulls FC Academy, as Caspers is on the ball once more. Expect Eddie Caspers to provide a lot of neat touches in the centre of the park for the hosts. As it goes across to Shaw, I'm just wondering, either I've written the number down when I was looking at the dribble lineups. I'll go on as there's a good overlapping run by Fong and a strong tackle. Ball stays in the Spirit penalty area. Then Mostofi in the end. That's good, excellent. Good work by Aidan Mostofi against one of the other former Sydney FC Academy players on this field in Cameron Fong, actually. So, didn't take me too long to make an error. Apologies. Kyle Shaw actually wearing number 25 for APIA today. Sean Simmons is stopped by the opposing captain, Grant Cornwell. Kambayashi finds the open player. Now Shaw. And Kambayashi finding Shaw. That'll be Fong on the far side in front of legendary Football New South Wales photographer Damien Briggs. And Spirit wait patiently, hoping for a loose pass. corner with the header. Nizam is chasing it, but actually a flag is up for offside. By the way, can't forget a shout out for the 13, the match officials. So in the centre with the whistle is Sam Kelly. Assistant closest to us here in the Lambert Park scaffold is Benjamin Hutchison. Assistant on, what do we call it? The far side, the Joe Marston Pavilion side, is Luke Chapman. And today's fourth official is Harriet G. Here's Nicholas. Now back to Marquez, and a very fervent shout from someone at the back for APIA to step up, and the pressure perhaps influences Marquez kicking the ball into the Joe Marston Pavilion. As I said, it is last year's champions hosting last year's premiers. Only 2 points between these two teams in the table at the end of last season. Spirit making history, winning their first ever premiership in NPL Men's New South Wales with a total of 66 points. APIA Leichhardt not too far behind, finishing second in the table on 64 points. APIA, of course, as many of you would know, had their big day at Jubilee Oval, defeating Rockdale by 2-1 in last year's grand final. As Cornwell thinks about it, and when in doubt, just go down the line. Costa Petrados. And the signal is for an APIA throw. Of course, these two clubs have been very, very busy over the last 12 months. Both with Australia Cup qualifiers and the Australian Championship to think of. Plenty of football for these clubs, especially for the players who have returned to these clubs for another season. Here's Kalach. He finds Shaw. It's long and out of play. I must say, I did get here quite early to see a fair bit of the 20s game. I'm also grateful that the weather is a lot better than it was at Patches during the 20s game. So despite the scaffold here, it does have a roof, but as it's played up by Nicholas towards Petrados, we are, both myself and today's camera operator Nicholas, grateful that there is no rain, because I was a bit worried when I got here. But nice clear weather and a little bit of blue skies opposite us as well, as Monch takes the short pass, finds Kambayashi. Kambayashi allowed to turn, and the ball, one for Sean Simmons to chase, but it'll run away and out for a Spirit goal kick. Now, as we go, of course, I love this, now that NPL Men's New South Wales is back, plenty of football to occupy your weekends, and of course plenty of choice, especially if you're the kind of viewer who likes to multi-screen. I've mentioned the Youth Sydney Derby, which is drawing to a conclusion over at Rudy Hill. It's also a 5 p.m. kickoff, and actually a bit of history, it's the first home game for newly promoted SD Raiders, actually Sergio Malfara's former club, as well as the former club of the player who just played the ball there, Simon Nicholas. But SD Raiders with their first ever home game in the men's top tier. They are hosting Sydney Olympic at Ernie Smith Reserve, and Pete Pryor will be on the call for that one. And there's many other games, as there's the header away by Nicholas towards Nizam. Also 5:30 p.m. kickoff in Sutherland, with Sutherland Sharks hosting the boys from Medensa Park. And our Irish friend David Feeney will have the call for you there from Seymour Shaw. As backwards to Shaw. Also 7 p.m. kickoff tonight at Blandon Stadium, formerly known as Gabby Stadium. It's Blacktown. It's a rematch of the 2022 NPL New South Wales Grand Final over at Blacktown. Blacktown hosting the boys from the Northern Beaches. And more into that as it's intercepted by Takami there, and trying to launch her counter-attack, finds Petrados, but the good covering work there from Conestogo against his old club. Yes, both for particularly for Conestogo, also for Carl Shaw. Funny what the fixture list throws up sometimes. As I said earlier, Conestogo and Shaw, both former Spirit men, Conestogo in particular. 5 brilliant seasons at Spirit. He was a big reason, a big contributor to Spirit's rise from the second tier to being NPL Men's New South Wales Premiers and Australian Championship participants. Conestable, across all competitions, scored 17 times for Spirit last season. Now the job is to try and score goals for the team from the inner west, as Kambayashi, as quick as he is, couldn't keep that in play. Actually, so I'm trying not to leave stories unfinished. But yes, back to that 7 p.m. kickoff today over at Blacktown. Actually delighted to say that I'm pretty sure that's Football New South Wales commentary history, because it'll be 2 women in commentary at Landon Stadium, Annabelle Banfield and Samantha German. So it's great to see our commentary team expanding. And also to complete my shout out to at least today's games at NPL Men's New South Wales Round 2, 7:15 p.m. from Penshurst Park. It's the St George Derby with St George City hosting St George FC, and Lockie Flanagan will, at least that's what the roster says, Lockie Flanagan will have the commentary from Penshurst. Sam Kelly very strong in his call that was not a handball, and we go on with APIA having the ball back, but Simmons forced backwards and has run the ball over the touchline. So attacking throw-in for Spirit. And by the way, just to complete the set of men's round 2 games in NPL New South Wales, tomorrow 3 p.m. from Macedonia Park, Wollongong Wolves host the other newly promoted team, University of New South Wales. Tim Gibson with the commentary for that one. 4 p.m. tomorrow, rather a big one, Rockdale Illingdon hosting Marconi Stallions. And as it's Ortiz into the box, and Ortiz to Cigretto. Cigretto, urged on by some kids in attendance. He wins a throw, I guess. That game tomorrow, 4 p.m. Rockdale versus Marconi. Also, that's another 2-person goal. Great to see us having more 2-person calls this season. It'll be Alex Molchanov and Thomas Miletic. There we go. Damien Briggs. He's moved across the field, still in the perfect position to take more shots. And you'll be able to see those on the NPL New South Wales socials in the coming days. As Cornwell can't find a teammate, it's backwards to Shaw. 0-0 here at Lambert Park between APIA Leichhardt and Spirit FC. 10 minutes played. Eric Subihana here with the commentary. We certainly hope you're enjoying your Valentine's Day, as it's a good first touch from Sean Simmons to find Kambayashi. Kambayashi wants to switch, doesn't get it over Mostofi's head. And Yoshida, decent idea, but couldn't nick it past Fong. Now Monch. Fong again finding himself infield for the time being, and recovery there. Kambayashi chased that down. Simmons. Now Kambayashi. Fong, dispossessed by Nicholas. Nicholas trying to launch a quick attack, too quick, and Carl Shaw. A good reading of the play before Kalach sends it into Spirit territory. Flick on by Ortiz, but no teammates there. No teammates there for Ortiz, and it's marshaled by Spirit. Marquez under not much pressure, just getting a few touches. The long-time Spirit shot stopper. Sorry, Marks. That's not bad. Apologies, Chris. As it's moved left to Nicholas. Yoshida. Down the line, Mostofi was there. Doesn't get the decision. And then Alawalia, a little bit of a collision, but we'll go on with Smith. Good tackle from Cigretto, but Yoshida with the toe in there, at least slowing down APIA's progress. Ortiz finding himself quite deep near the halfway line. Prodded forward by Mostofi, it'll be swept up by APIA. Shaw. Only as far as Nicholas, and Nicholas returns the favour. Petratos will put the pressure on. Let's work back to Kalac. Conestabile under pressure, as it's actually Takami leading the press, stepping a bit forward from midfield. And now APIA cool enough. Kalac gets another touch. Kaspers is dropped deep between the centre backs. Kaspers again. Kaspers, the midfield, dropping from midfield into defence. And as there's a ball for Simmons to chase, it'll run out of play. And I like that from Kaspers, though, despite the fact it didn't work out in the end. When the midfielder drops between the centre backs, they can shift wider. It allows the fullbacks to push up. Both Sean Simmons and Cameron Fong. Definitely not just defenders, but able to provide great value in the attack when the opportunity presents itself. So I expect we'll see that a few times in this game, and that's actually something for the Spirit that'll keep the Spirit wide players, which appear to be Khan Nizam and Shoki Yoshida occupied. It's the goal kick. Shaw with a flick, and then Petratos can't bring it down. So it's lob to Kaspers, has a look over the shoulder, and Takami finding Cornwell. Ballard McBride looking for options. Leaves it for Petratos. Petratos pointing to where he wanted the runner. Couldn't find Yoshida because Shaw was in the way. Now Monge. That's a great turn from Monge. And they might have found a way out APIA here with Conestabile. Out wide, that's Cigretto. About at the quarter hour mark here, still goalless between APIA and Spirit FC. There's two high quality teams probe and try and draw first blood. It really is an early season blockbuster. A little bit of a fancy footwork from Grant Cornwell. Nizam. Ballard McBride could only find APIA, but then Ortiz has fouled Brady Smith. So, I mentioned earlier, new look Spirit FC. Not just losing a long-time men's first grade coach David Perkovich after 9 seasons? Yes, 9 seasons in charge. But quite a bit of squad turnover as well. And actually my research, I think the point that probably best highlights the challenge facing Sergio Malfara, as Marquez aims one towards Mustafi. Decent first touch, and he crosses, but it's batted down and really dealt with quite well by Kalac. But last year across all competitions, the league, Australian Cup qualifiers and the Australian Championship, Spirit scored 82 goals, and they have lost players that contributed to 75 of those 82 goals. I've already mentioned Michael Conestabile, but the other key goal-scoring contributors who were brilliant last season, Yuo Kubo and Takumi Ofuka, have moved on. As that's long towards Cigretto, just leaves it behind, gave it up to Nicholas. But they have Spirit and Sergio Malfara have brought in good players. And if they can gel quickly, Spirit got every chance of being up the top again this season. As there's a bit of room for Takami. Takami looks up, he'll find Nizam on the touchline closest to us. Takami's continued his run. And I think Spirit wanted a decision. I think the decision is that Monge kind of more of an accidental collision. And the ref's happy to let play continue. Simmons looks up, wants to switch it, and it's too much chili sauce on it to find Cigretto. actually. So I have mentioned already all the other 7 games that you, well, actually, you'd be close to full time at Wanderers Football Park, but the other 6 games you'll be able to watch in NPL Men's New South Wales. Via same way you're watching this one, at the live tab on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. And as we see an early pit stop, some running repairs required for Brady Smith. There is one more stream. It's also tonight. What a Saturday we have across the Football New South Wales competitions. But the League One men's match of the round for this weekend. Spirit have to go on without Brady Smith, so the visitors down to 10 for the time being. But yeah, this weekend's League One men's match of the round, 7 p.m. tonight, and it's a Blacktown derby as well, with the Rangers hosting Spartans at Popondetta Park. So 7 p.m. tonight in that Rangers-Spartans game. Another 2-person call. That'll be Mark DePaoli calling that alongside Justin Smith. Justin Smith, long-time League One men's reporter, and a man who is definitely better than the person who used to cover the men's second tier. But that's another story. So anyway, Brady Smith back on the field, so Spirit back to their full complement of players. Petrados under pressure, loses out. Conestabo, now Caspers, little dink. Mustafi being very physical. Stopped it from getting to APIA, but only briefly, as now out wide. It's Cameron Fong, I think. It's a sharp 1-2. Left-footed effort. Diving catch from Marks. 0-0 it remains between APIA and Spirit in the 20th minute here at Lambert Park. Towards Yoshida, possibly off the thigh, but did well enough. And then McBride couldn't find the return pass, and the flag is up. Ortiz coming back from an offside position. I mentioned all the goals that Spirit have lost, if that makes sense, in terms of goal scorers from last season. Quite the opposite scenario for APIA Leichhardt. But yeah, it's good to see teams remaining with maintaining a consistent squad as Nicholas plays it backwards to Smith. And Spirit, APIA have retained all 5 double-figure goal scorers from last season, as that's up towards McBride, and Kalach got the good jump there. And he was actually ended up being a good pass to Monge. But yeah, so by the way, those double-figure goal scorers for APIA from 2025 across all 3 competitions they played in. Presley Ortiz, Seiya Kambayashi, Jack Stewart, Alex Denmead, and Jordan Cigretto. And by the way, Franco Farinella wasn't too far behind those 5 on 9. He scored 9 times last season. Back heel to find the overlapping run. Sean Simmons, low cross, and it's turned in by Presley Ortiz, who is in the correct position in the 6-yard box. Brilliant setup down the left-hand side. Kambayashi to Sean Simmons. And the finish from Ortiz. He has his first of 2026. And APIA Leichhardt leading by a 0-0. A fantastic move. And I just mentioned Presley Ortiz. He was a main goal scorer for APIA Leichhardt. 21 goals last year. And didn't take him long into the second game of the season to to open his account for 2026. Brilliant football by APIA Leichhardt. And they lead 1-0.
Goal, APIA Leichhardt. Number 9, Presley Ortiz. APIA Leichhardt 1.
Smith trying to break it up, but APIA might keep it moving here. Conestabo keeps it away from Yoshida, keeps it away from McBride as well. Carl Shaw moving backwards under pressure from McBride. Now Fong. Now, as Conestabo hasn't quite got the passing radar on that time. That's a nice ball by Mostofi, so there's room to run for Cornwell across halfway. Cornwell, Petrados, and then Petrados can't find McBride, but it was a decent idea. Now, Spirit trying to put the pressure on, but APIA playing out from the back. They might have given it away here. Nizam stopped legally by Caspers. Now Kambayashi, one for Ortiz to chase. Smith's got to hurry, and he uses his body well. Now Marks to Mustafi. Now Yoshida, Takami, Alawalia. Alawali will just have to settle it down. APIA still really standing off him. Here's Cornwell. Smith. Petrados dropping deep to the right-hand side. He gets the ball right in front of the scaffold. Attempted 1-2, but Caspers read it well. McBride keeps it alive, though, for Alawalia. APIA continuing to stand off for the time being. That allows Marquez to move quite some way up the pitch to get involved. Lots of touches for Alawalia in this phase of play. APIA having everyone behind the ball. Backwards. Mostofi to Nicholas. APIA thought they might have an opportunity to win it back, but it's good composure from Spirit, although APIA will be happy. Ball's in a non-dangerous position for them. McBride to Takami. Takami couldn't find Petrados. Now Nizam gets away from two, but the third play to deal with. Good stuff from Nizam, and he's won the first corner of the game. Spirit scored from a set piece 7 days ago against Sutherland Sharks in the season opener. Let's see what the men from the Arctic Circle have cooked up at this set piece. Yoshida. Yoshida to take this from by the flag. For APIA, only Kambayashi has stayed forward. Everyone else back for the host to defend. Nizam looks to be the play trying to put off the keeper as Yoshida delivers. And I think that's taken a touch off Smith, who was running in at the back post. And from an APIA perspective, the danger is over. 27th minute here in Leichhardt. It's APIA Leichhardt leading by a goal to nil over Spirit FC, courtesy of Presley Ortiz. Couple of headers for Spirit. Petrados, he's just surrounded by Marone there, and Conestable trying to start a quick attack. Red roll by Nicholas, though, for Spirit. Now Petrados on the half turn, and now here's Alawalia. Nizam engaged by Sean Simmons, and then Caspers couldn't keep it in. Nizam, the throw hitting the shout, so this captain Grant Cornwell. And Spirit going to try again. But in truth, across the opening 28 minutes or so, Oliver Kalic yet to be seriously tested. But there's plenty of football left to be played in this one. Marquez again getting touches well outside the penalty area. APIA having taken the lead recently, showing a little bit of caution, at least for the time being. Wouldn't expect that to be the case for too long. Cornwell finds Sean Simmons for APIA. Caspers. Good turn from Caspers. And now trying to curl one through. He's looking for Ortiz. Never a bad decision if you're an APIA Leichhardt player, but good interception, good positioning from Smith. Now here's Mustafi, far side. Yoshida holding off Fong. Nicholas now. One for McBride to chase. Shaw using his body. And actually working it back to Kalach, so that's good defending from Shaw. Kambayashi's the target, trying to sneak in between Spirit defenders, dealt with by Smith. Alawalia couldn't head it over Simmons. Cigretto now. Conestabro. Out wide, it's Cameron Fong. More quick passing. Broken up by Takami though. Spirit's turn to sit with everyone behind the ball. Shaw. Conestabro brings Cigretto into the play. Flat cross towards Ortiz, and he did his best. It was always going to be a difficult header, bouncing just before it got to him, and his runner took him beyond the near post. But once again, it's Ortiz looking the most threatening. For APIA. Spirit restart us, and Cornwell allowed some space before Kambayashi presses. Petrados. Okay, that's great team defending from APIA, getting two players around Petrados. Ball's with the home side. Monge. Now Cigretto. Back to Monge. APIA using the left side. Simmons. Now to minute 32 of this game. And it's personally Ortiz's goal that splits the side so far. APIA leading Spirit by 1-0. Eric Subihana here with the commentary. Absolutely delighted to be here for such a big game in the early season. McBride, good use of the body from Caspers. Before Shaw with a clearance that has, yes. There you go, that's the Lambert Park experience. If you're a spectator, you've got to be on your toes. I think we're fortunate that the place Carl Shaw cleared it to doesn't actually have any seats. Yeah, there you go. That's the one warning for the spectators in this stand, I think. Now, almost an awkward bounce for Nicholas, but he keeps it moving now. Petrados, and there's a runner out wide. Petrados to the edge of the box. Can't find a teammate centrally. It's Cornwell at least stopping the counter-attack. Now Caspers beats one and has won the throw-in. So clever work there. This is a bit of a tricky situation. But now, a bit safer position for APIA. Once again, Spirit with the ball. But deep inside their own territory. They progress it, and now Nicholas. Petrados. And now McBride almost found Yoshida. Now Alawalia and Mustafi with a low cross, and it needed someone for Spirit to be making a run towards the 6-yard box. Now that would have been agonizing for the visitors. It was a good move, and Mustafi put the ball into a dangerous area. But no one in yellow making the run that cross deserved. Cornwell and finding Nizam, who had drifted inside. But APIA have been doing well when the ball's in this particular spot defensively, because they're allowing Spirit to have the ball in non-dangerous areas, but they've really closed off the space when Spirit have the ball here, but maybe not. Nizam, edge of the box, shoots left-footed, and it ends up being a straightforward save for Kalac, but it's still better from Spirit. I was about to say that APIA, when the ball's been in their own territory, really closed off the space well. It opened up for Nizam. It's just enough for him to have a shot. Couldn't trouble Kalac though, and we might see the ball go the other way with Ortiz. And the only decision is a throw-in. Yoshida can't make it stick. And short to Conestabro. And there's a toe. Well, no. It's a foul. Ruled a foul by McBride. As Caspers once again dropping deep to help the centre backs out. Monge and Kambayashi back to Monge. That's a nice ball to Caspers. And Caspers stopped by Takami. Before the foul goes in favour, if that makes sense. The free kick goes Spirit's way. Nicholas under pressure there from Conestobre. Goes back to Marks. And Cornwell. It's Nicholas who decides to play it up. Decent touch from McBride before Monge breaks it up. Now Caspers, and he saw the runner Simmons, but so did Cornwell. His interception. Now Simmons has got to get back. Here's Nizam. Nizam, does he get around Caspers? And there we go. Simmons does get back. It's a textbook sliding tackle right in front of us. Kambayashi, and here's Ortiz, left side. Smith's been dragged out of the middle. Ortiz, round one, but not past Cornwell, and there we go. One more for your Lambert Park bingo card. A ball onto Marion Street. Okay, that's actually probably a reminder. There is something I call a Lambert Park hat-trick, which is a ball onto Marion Street, a ball onto the roof of the Joe Marston Pavilion, and a ball onto the warm-up area behind the goal to our right in the same game. So that's one. That's one out of the three. Now Monge going direct towards Conestobre. He brings it down. Chests it down, in fact, but offside against Conestobre. Ball, good vision nonetheless from Monge. It was a smart run from Conestobre. Just moved a little bit too early. Marks opting not to keep it short. He'll go for distance. It's up. And allowed to bounce before Simmons plays it forward. Ortiz, touch takes him backwards, but he does well to keep it. And then Shaw to the opposition keeper. Marquez booms it into APIA territory. Again allowed to bounce. Simmons does retrieve it under pressure from Nizam down the line, but only as far as Alawalia. Nizam, McBride, and APIA working the 3-on-2 in that corner, but it's a tricky situation for Monge. Shaw provides the option. Caspers, oh, that's nice. That's nice. Simmons can face forward, and Simmons then loses out to the opposing skipper. Cornwell, and he plays it behind Yoshida. So here's Cigretto defending Yoshida. Eventually gets the ball. Good overlapping run from Mustafi. And he shakes off the defender. Here's Aidan Mustafi. This could be promising. Blasted straight at Kalach. Petratos can't get a touch. Mustafi's offside. But once again, it's a promising move for Spirit with Mustafi heavily involved. From left back, timed the overlapping run perfectly. It was a good move to get past the defender as well. Just about half-time. Actually, as a reminder, I'm not used to calling games with a fourth official, so I should probably... I've got about 3 minutes before I've got to keep a close eye on fourth official Harriet G. As it runs out off Cornwell. A spectator being impromptu ball person so APIA can get going again. Kambayashi, not much room. As we go across halfway here, I mentioned how busy it is. This is one of 7 streams on the Football New South Wales YouTube page for today, with another 2 tomorrow. Well, it's not long before it gets even busier. Starting Saturday, 7th of March. Those are the opening games in round 1 of the NPL Women's New South Wales competition. These 2 clubs also involved in that one, and APIA Leichhardt once again one of the competition favourites as Marquez, good sweeper keeper work, heads it away from Conestobre. And Yoshida keeps it away from 2 and it crosses halfway. Yoshida wins the throw off Monch, but yes, because APIA Leichhardt and their captain, their star forward, Ashley Letter. In case you're wondering who that is, she got married. She used to be known as Ashley Crofts. Right. As the APIA women's team, expect them to feature heavily in the NPL Women's New South Wales comp when that starts in March. And Spirit, actually, it all changed for Spirit in the women's side as well. And their new head coach, John Sarukas, or their new women's first grade head coach, John Sarukas, has brought in a number of new players. But, of course, as we get closer to that comp, there'll be more on that competition across the NPL New South Wales socials. Spirit with an attacking throw. And Mostofi. Now Nicholas, there's not a lot of room, and there's Caspers. He's had a good game so far. Just being a constant presence, whether APIA need an option in midfield or whether an attack needs to be blocked off. And then I think was that Cigretto winning the free kick there. Kambayashi looking for the direct ball. Good run there, and Cigretto's beaten the keeper to the ball. Big chance for Cigretto, and he pokes it over the line to make it 2-0. What a ball from Kambayashi. Finding Cigretto, who's quick enough to beat the opposition. And he rolls the ball into the net, doubling APIA's advantage. With halftime approaching, it's APIA 2, Spirit 0. Seiya Kambayashi proving once again he doesn't just score goals, although he does score a lot of goals. But he is the creator this time. Confirmation there via the PA that it is Jordan Cigretto scoring with his first of the season, his first for 2026. And an early start for him in the goal-scoring sense after he bagged 11 goals last year across all competitions. And there we go. I knew this would happen. I tried my best to catch the fourth officials board, and I missed it. So there we go. Can't imagine there'd be too much time added on by my stopwatch. We've had close to a minute of additional time already. And Simmons steps in. There's some room and some options there. Down the line, Kambayashi once again crosses into Smith for APIA's first corner of the day. Can expect an in-swinger from Kambayashi. Crowded penalty area, aim far post, and Marks reaches to get a palm to that, and that is the end of what has been a very productive opening period for APIA Leichhardt. The hosts lead by 2-0 as the teams head into the dressing sheds. They opened the scoring about midway through the first half via Presley Ortiz, set up by Sean Simmons. And then, as we saw just before halftime, Jordan Cigretto doubling the home side's lead, getting the end of a great pass from Seiya Kambayashi. Beat the keeper to that pass and finished coolly. So this is Eric Subihano with the commentary for NPL Men's New South Wales Round 2. I hope you stick around on the Football New South Wales YouTube page. We'll take a short break of about 10 minutes or so, and then we'll be back for the second half. We're back for the second half of our NPL Men's New South Wales coverage. Hope you're enjoying the early stages of the 2026 season. And here at Lambert Park, it's a case of so far so good for the home side. APIA Leichhardt, they lead Spirit FC by 2-0. And the goals coming from Presley Ortiz and Jordan Cigretto. So, actually, one of the things, it's always a bit tricky when the filming position is the opposite side to the technical area, so I do have to check if either team has made a sub at half-time. But actually looking, APIA appear not to have made a sub. And now just checking Spirit. And I believe actually that they will be... Actually, no, I think there is a change. I see a number 17 for Spirit, which would be Ariku Kobayashi. So the visitors have made a change at halftime. Now, for me, the small matter of figuring out who he's replaced. But anyway, the second half has begun. Now, can Spirit mount some kind of dramatic comeback? But 45 minutes to do so. As looking at Spirit, I reckon, now I've figured out their halftime sub. So number 17, Riku Kobayashi, he has replaced Finn Ballard McBride at the interval. Hooked away from the APIA box, and Nizam, he's just going to let that run out, I think, for a throw-in. Actually, I like it when we do this in the NPL Men's New South Wales competition, or indeed any competition. The games have been staggered, or the kickoff times have been staggered throughout the day. The first game was kicking off at 3 p.m, so we do have a full-time score. I'll get onto that in a moment. And the latest of the games kicking off at 7:15 p.m. today. So plenty of choice for the multi-screening fam amongst us. As Smith will play it wide to Cornwell, and Cornwell with the diagonal. So up there, good jump from Yoshida. Couldn't find one of his teammates. Back to Karlach, and that's up. It's curling, so I don't think it'll trouble Scaffold. And Cigretto couldn't quite locate the ball, but it ends up being out off Mostofi. So there, as I said, there was a full-time score, and it looks like the Young Sky Blues travelled all the way to Rooty Hill 4-0, because in the Youth Sydney Derby, Western Sydney Wanderers had beaten Sydney FC by 4-0. And as that'll be taken over by Smith, but bounces off Alawalia, and Ortiz takes advantage, but then couldn't find a teammate, although that's a great ball by Fong, curling it into Ortiz's path. Conestoba's already made a run into the middle. Other support is arriving. Ortiz one-on-one against Nicholas. Onto the left foot, plays it off, and dinked in by Monge, but it's easy for Marks to catch. So, my goodness, that is, I did not expect that score at Rooty Hill, but, you know. And in fact, there's going to be a brief stoppage. Brady Smith is down and is going to require some treatment. Well, I'm going to assume that, assuming that the physio gets waved on by Sam Kelly, but you have to wait. So, doesn't look too serious for Smith. Hope he can continue. And the physio is now on the field. But, yes. Other scores. Kickoff. It's early minutes at Seymour Shaw, 0-0 between Sutherland and the boys from Medensa Park. Getting close to half-time at Ernie Smith Reserve, actually. It's just changed after I looked initially. It's currently 1-1 between SD Raiders and Sydney Olympic at Ernie Smith Reserve in a historic first home game in NPL Men's for SD Raiders. And other games, the other games for today would be Blacktown versus the boys from the Northern Beaches. That kicks off at 7 p.m. at Landon Stadium, and 7:15 p.m. it's a St George derby with St George City hosting St George FC at Penshurst. Smith able to move off the field unassisted, so I'm going to take that as a good sign. In fact, it's been signalled on straight away, so Spirit with almost no time, having almost no time, down to 10 plays at all. And Marks directing the traffic in front of him, rolls it to Smith. Now put in front of Nicholas. He looks up. Now Petratos has a decent idea, but Shaw read the intentions and blocked the layoff. So it's Monge centre circle. And gets it back from Sean Simmons. Simmons down the line. Monge, that's a good run. And he'll try to take it round Cornwell. But Cornwell, excellent defending. Now, as Shaw aims it left and finds Kambayashi. And I think he was looking for Conestabro. Conestabro does block the ball out, and APIA might get it back. Conestabro. Cornwell has to get involved before Alawalia plays it towards midfield. Shaw won the initial aerial challenge, but then it went to Yoshida, and now there's a race which Petratos might have won here. Costa Petratos up against Shaw. And the decision is a goal kick, so that is good defending from APIA's number 25. Oh, I forgot. Sorry. Forgot about the other stream game. So just a reminder, also at 7 p.m, the match of the round. The featured game for the men's second tier, League One men's. It's Rangers against Spartans from Poppendale Park. That's a 7 p.m. kickoff. Look over the shoulder, and Smith just about gets enough on it for the headed back pass to Marks. Here's Nicholas. Nicholas didn't like the options in front of him, goes back. Alawalia and Mustafi is under pressure from Fong. It's good. Fong pressing very high from right back for the time being. He's level with the forwards. Fong doing well to not let his direct opponent turn. Smith, a little bit of room. He finds Nicholas, and now Mustafi. Yoshida and Mustafi. That's nice work, getting away from two and keeping away from a third as well. Now Takami on halfway. He looks for Yoshida. Will the bounce favor him? It does. Yoshida. And then Cameron Fong, who's prevented the corner. So excellent fullback play. Now Takami again. And Takami, that's broken up by Caspers. Now Alawali has the slide to prevent Caspers running free. And here's Kambayashi crossing halfway, right in front of us. Kambayashi goes direct. Conestabro knew he was offside. Caspers wasn't, and Caspers, well, he ghosted behind the Spirit defence, and then there's a loose touch off the left boot. And Spirit survived that quick APIA counter. Spirit building from the back, so that's Kobayashi, Riku Kobayashi. Great tackle from Caspers. And Caspers, well, I think Kambayashi's on side here. Spirit have to hurry here. Kambayashi left side of the box. And he goes from a tight angle. It's straight at Marks, but it's good positioning from Spirit's number one. Mustafi. A couple of turns to try and keep it away from Monge. Petratos dropping deep. And Petratos has not gotten the decision. That's going to be an APIA throw. Caspers again, and trying to stand it up. It's an awkward couple of headers for first Cornwell and then Smith. And Monge ends up with the ball. Caspers keeping it moving as always. Now, Kambayashi, not a lot of room on the far side, but Such a brilliant, technically gifted player, Kambayashi. And there you go, finding Shaw. So it's Casper's deepest player from APIA for the time being. Outside of the foot pass to find Cigretto, and Cigretto is giving it up. And Mustafi, we saw what he could do in the first half. He's got more room here. He crosses, and that's Shaw with the recovery. The score is currently APIA 2, Spirit 0. Goals in the first half from Presley Ortiz and Jordan Cigretto. That is what separates the two teams. Now go direct, but Smith with the header, defending against Ortiz. Mustafi gets away briefly from Cigretto. Emphasis on briefly. Second defender comes in. That's good. That's good from Mustafi to find Nicholas. Petrados, has he found Kobayashi? Yes, he has. And there might be support. Little back heel. Now, across to Petrados, and he blasts it over. That is by far Spirit's best chance of the game, and it's a great move as well. And Mustafi and Kobayashi involved. Kobayashi with a good vision to back heel it into Petrados' path, and he couldn't repeat his feat from round one by finding the back of the net well, at least not yet. Long goal kick to restart from Kalac. And Ortiz, a little flick, but that'll be a Mark's ball. Now Kobayashi got away from Caspers, and a little 1-2 as well. Now he looks for Petrados once again, covering work from Shaw. Throw in on the far side in Spirit's favour. In fact, there's going to be a sub. Actually, might be both teams making subs at the same time. This will be a test of my eyesight. I think I see Jack Stewart and Rory Jordan who are about to come on for APIA. Firstly, there's a Spirit sub, so Brady Smith perhaps feeling a bit sore. He makes way, as does Zayn Alawalia. So Brady Smith looks like he'll be replaced at the back for Spirit by number 3, Kaya Williams. And the other player to come on for Spirit is number 14, Benjamin Duru. It's a bit chaotic here. So Jordan Cigretto is one of the players to make way for APIA Leichhardt. And now Spirit attacking once again. Kobayashi, was he brought down? No, he was not. Signal is no foul. Caspers, he wins the free kick. Now, APIA, I think, playing it before the officials were ready. And as one of the newly introduced players, Stewart, trying to make an impact. It's good at use of the body. Grant Cornwell doing what all defenders love to do, shepherding the ball over the goal line for a goal kick. Apologies, I've been quite slovenly in figuring out this APIA double sub. My apologies. I do know it's number 7, Jack Stewart, and number 11, Rory Jordan on. I think I've just about figured out those two are replacing Seiya Kambayashi and Jordan Cigretto. Yeah, got there in the end. As Petrados almost a knockdown for himself, but broken up by Shaw. Okay, actually I've missed another sub. Whether that happened at halftime was a bit later, but Spirit got on for Spirit in the number 15 jersey is Sam Armson. So Armson, a familiar surname in these parts, as his brother Jack used to play for APIA Leichhardt. And how can I put this? Gotta be nice when talking about Sam and Jack, otherwise my invoices might not get paid. That's another story, but no, I'm not explaining that. Yeah. And there's Armson center circle, and there's quite a bit of room. Duru's running ahead of him. He's got options either side as well. One of them is the number 7 who takes a shot, and it's deflected towards Sam Armson. A quick header. But nothing to trouble Kalac, and it was actually Yoshida, Spirit number 7, with the initial shot. Now Kalach. Long pass only finds Mustafi. He goes back to his keeper, Marks. So Spirit have made 3 subs so far, just to confirm. At least I hope I got this right. It's Kai Williams, Benjamin Duru, and Sam Armson on. And players leaving the field, Finn Ballard for Spirit, Finn Ballard, McBride, Zain Alawalia, and Khan Nizam. Takami. And Takami again. Sam Armson. And they go on. Williams direct towards Daru. Did well to get something on it before it's cleared. Spirit throw, and APIA with the scoreboard advantage, but they probably want to play a little bit higher than they are in this phase of play as Monge tries to break it up. Another strong run from Mustafi. Armson. Now Williams. Kobayashi has committed the infringement. Just past the hour mark here. APIA leading Spirit by 2-0, courtesy of goals by Presley Ortiz and Jordan Cigretto. It's Eric Subihano, delighted to have the commentary here from Lambert Park. And Kalach, I think he's just going to wave everyone long, although, as I say, that Casper's feigned to provide the short option. It does go long. Mustafi will be up, and he heads it temporarily away. Jordan should get to that first. Anyway, shout out to anyone here, anyone listening who was a fan of Formula 1 in the 90s, who would have been amused by APIA bringing on a Stewart and a Jordan. Although, unlike Formula 1 in the 90s, there is a Williams at the back for Spirit. Cross to Shaw. And Fong. Great ball. Here's Jordan. Jordan, oh, that's clever, wins the throw off Mustafi. Actually, not too many corners in this game, although this tally is, of course, unofficial, but I have it as 2 corners for APIA and 1 corner for Spirit so far. Could be wrong, of course. Shaw and Simmons about to move all the way across Lambert Park, presumably to take an in-swinger with that famous left foot of his. Everyone back. For Spirit. And now Sean Simmons delivers to the far post. There's APIA plays there. It's over Caspers, and it escapes Conestabo as well. Conestabo will get a go at it now, but stoppage, potential head knock. Yeah, got to take even the slightest suspicion of a head injury seriously down. I think that's Andre Takami, who may need some treatment. So, did mention in the first half that, of course, these 2 clubs also involved in the NPL Women's New South Wales competition, which starts Saturday, March 7. Might as well acknowledge the whole of these clubs. Well, we've got a bit of time. It's the Spirit women's team. Yeah, they actually, their first game of 2026, Saturday, March the 7th at the Arctic Circle, 3 p.m. They host Sydney Olympic. As Caspers breaks that up. And now Mustafi, no, short of options. The only option really is the back pass. And Marks sends it towards midfield. Header from Caspers. Now Conestabro and then Jordan. Ortiz knew he was offside. Conestabro wasn't, but the ball had too much weight for him to get on the end of it. And meanwhile, as Yoshida finds Mustafi, and APIA pressing intently. Good organisation from APIA, at least in this part of the field, not making it easy for Spirit to progress the ball. Although that's what Cornwell will try to do now. Here's Williams. Now Cornwell. Cornwell give and go. And Cornwell, has he kept it in? Yes, he has. Grant Cornwell. There's some options here. One of them is Duru, back heel. Yoshida, edge of the box. Fong watches intently in defence. Sam Armson now. And Duru, can he turn? Can he provide a shot? APIA don't clear it at the first time of asking, but they do eventually get it away. And Cornwell. Centre circle, it's Nicholas. Actually, Nicholas, a former APIA player, now that I think of it. Petrados, double marked. And now Duru, can he shield it? Doesn't shield it from Shaw, but it was Armson with the foot in there. Ball runs through to Kalac. He will eventually use the gloves. Now, actually, acknowledge the Spirit women's team round one game. Might as well do that for APIA, of course. Got to keep it fair. So, for APIA Leichhardt, their NPL Women's New South Wales opener is on Sunday, 8th of March. And I like to call this matchup the Tory Tumouth Trophy. It is APIA Leichhardt versus Sydney University here at Lambert Park, Sunday, 8th of March, 4:50 p.m. kickoff. But we're getting ahead of ourselves possibly a little bit. But just know, from that weekend and pretty much until the end of August, so much football, plenty of choice for you across. We'll be, once again, we're delighted to say we'll be streaming so many games that Kalac gathers that. Once again, we'll be live streaming every game in the NPL men's and NPL women's New South Wales competitions, as well as a selected match each weekend, a featured match of the rounds for the two second-tier comps, the League One women's and the League One men's. Now Shaw to Monge, and now Stewart able to turn. Stewart, ball looking for Ortiz, but gets away from the man who opened the scoring for APIA. This tidy finish in the midway through the first half. So APIA have cooked up another double substitution. Looks like Michael Conestabro, he will make way. And the other player to be subbed is Presley Ortiz. Replacing those two, number 14, Max Court. Okay, well, I mean, I think I know how this has happened. There's a 26 out there. I do not have a 26 on my team list. My initial guess is that number 26 is Oscar Gonzalez, but might need to see the back of the jersey first. As Nicholas, well, under pressure, and then Mustafi plays it clear. Now Armson trying to settle it for Spirit. Yeah, I think I can just about see a Gonzalez there. Hopefully it goes closer so I can confirm that, but whoever it is, the number 26 pressing the keeper. And now Shaw booms it. Cornwell heads sideways. He does find Nicholas. Now Simmons going for distance with that throw in. Williams just hooking it over his head. Petrados, he's battled hard throughout this game. And clever enough to win the free kick. Takami, and yeah, that is a foul by Gonzalez. Yeah, just got close enough that I could read the name on the back of his jersey. Oh, got to quickly alter my notebook so I have the right numbers. So Oscar Gonzalez looks like he's at the point of attack at centre forward, replacing Presley Ortiz for the final run-in of this fixture. And just to clarify, the other sub was in midfield with the highly talented youngster Max Court. Yeah, Max Court replacing Michael Conestabo. Big collision, the aerial challenge there. Good to see Caspers and Yoshida fine. Hooked forward. And Nicholas has to chase this one. And Simon Nicholas, well, that's a bit of a heart attack for the Spirit faithful as it looped up and out of Mark's reach. It's going to be a corner. And from the Spirit perspective, just a corner. By the way, point out, thank you to Megan who's tuning in for confirming what I couldn't quite see in the APIA shirt numbers. Yes, in terms of Oscar Gonzalez wearing number 26. That's probably important information to get just in time because Gonzalez is actually lining up at the far post for this set piece. Jack Stewart to take it. It's a flat delivery, headed away by Cornwall. Monge lets it run a bit, and Duru just goes safety first into the technical areas. Stewart challenging aerially and, well, touches off him. So Cornwell doing the job there defensively. Work back. That's a bit of a safer back pass, although Gonzalez is trying to make it dangerous for Spirit. And almost a bit of hesitation there before Jordan crashes into Mostofi. And Sam Kelly's just going to have a chat to Grant Cornwell just to try to calm things down. It's been a game played in good spirit. Certainly, that's going to land on the roof, I think. That's, that nearly hit the scaffold. Now, Nicholas and I were working for the League One men's match of the round last weekend at Jensen Park between Bankstown City and Rydalmere, and there was a clearance that hit the scaffold that time. Is this going to happen every time, Nicholas? I guess so. Caspers, it's blocked up by Takami. Shaw finding Caspers. And now the through ball court to Gonzalez, two subs combining. Outside of the foot pass from Gonzalez to Stewart, and there's an overlapping run, but Stewart, he might shoot. It's blocked by Cornwell. By the way, decent first touch from Franco Parisi. As he waits until Sean Simmons is in position to take this throw in. Right below those patrons in the Joe Marston Pavilion. They're lucky enough to have watched football there a couple of times. Great view of the action from that pavilion. Although a view from the scaffold here actually pretty good as well, it must be said. As we go around the grounds. And of course, in case you missed it earlier, in the 3 p.m. kickoff in NPL Men's New South Wales, Western Sydney Wanderers defeated Sydney FC by 4-0. Well, that's quite the results. In fact, probably the biggest massacre on February 14th since that bloke from Yorkshire went to Hawaii. But I'll go through the other scores in a moment. Firstly, this Sean Simmons set piece. He floats it in and might go all the way to Caspers at the back post. Escapes everybody and out for a goal kick. Other scores, well, at Seymour Shaw, currently 1-1 between Sutherland and the boys from Adensa Park. And it's halftime at Ernie Smith. Exciting stuff here, in fact. The voice of Central Coast football, Pete Pryor, is calling that game at Ernie Smith between SD Raiders and Olympic. So he's enjoying his experience there. Currently 1-1 between SD and Olympic, by the way, but there has been a red card for SD Raiders. Actually, also a missed or saved penalty for Sydney Olympic, apparently, so plenty happening there in Moorebank. Shaw doing the job defensively. Caspers, so calm, was always on the ball, and he's fooled two opponents there. Brilliant work from Caspers. Caught, that's a nice ball to Jordan. And Jordan into the middle for Gonzalez, and Gonzalez was brought down by Mark, so it's going to be a spot kick and a chance for APIA to make it 3-0. It's all the substitutes there doing the damage. Well, we've got to credit Eddie Caspers, who's been on at the start. He really kick-started that move, that great skill and composure in front of his own area to make the space. But then Max caught one substitute with a brilliant ball to Rory Jordan, another substitute. He found Gonzalez's run in the middle. Gonzalez came on not too long ago. He was too quick for Marks, winning the spot kick, and it's going to be Jack Stewart with the responsibility from 12 yards. Into the final quarter and hour of proceedings here at Lambert Park. Jack Stewart concentrates. Short-ish run up and rolling it coolly into the bottom corner. Jack Stewart is off the mark for 2026. He's made it 3-0 for APIA over Spirit FC, and it's probably going to be 3 points as well.
APIA Leichhardt 3, Spirit 0.
Jack Stewart, straightish run up, shortish run up, but he looks so confident. Definitely over the years has shown himself to be a man you can trust in big moments. And it's another APIA goal for the man who scored 12 times for APIA last season. And APIA, after defeat, first time out in the Derby d'Italia. And it's a good response on home soil. Well, I say home soil, it's a synthetic surface, but you know what I mean. Home. No. Caspers once again winning it in midfield. He's been excellent today. Stewart using his skill to go backwards this time, but he's kept the ball for APIA. Finds Shaw, and now Shaw zings it to Jordan, and that's a neat first-time pass for Fong. It comes at an awkward height, but Fong has made something of it. And then does run out of play in Spirit's favour. Sam Armson. Now Takami hooks it forward. Petrados jumps, and that's under pressure. It was always going to be hard for Petrados to make it stick. And it's Kalach's ball. Of course, as it's played long, there's no such thing. There's really no such thing as an easy game in this competition. So there's such good work from Nicholas breaking it up in midfield before. Equally good work by Kyle Shaw. He goes on a bit of a run from centre back. That's a good ball. Well, but Stewart started the run just a little bit too early. Coming up for APIA Leichhardt in 7 days' time, Saturday, 21st of February. Actually, no, hang on. I had the wrong tab on my notes. Okay, I'll start it again. Coming up, APIA, they're in Friday night action. Next up, Friday 20th of February, a 7:30 p.m. kickoff. APIA away, they're at Cromer Park on the 20th. And then they finish February as Mustafi goes on the run and he finds himself centrally. Shooting opportunity. Mustafi has found the bottom corner. So Spirit are on the scoreboard. And Aidan Mustafi, he's made quite a few promising runs throughout the game. He moved into a central position. Good skill to beat a player. And the composure to find the bottom corner, so there won't be a clean sheet for APIA. Ada Mustafi, lovely finish. And at least there's something positive for Sergio Malfaro to look to hang on to and to perhaps use over the next week. There's a really well taken goal. And I have to say, this one isn't quite over just yet. I mean, we have seen comebacks from 2 goals down with this amount of time remaining left, about 10 minutes or so plus stoppage time remaining in this one. Yoshida lofts one over, and a chance maybe for Daru. And Daru is fighting against 2 players. He's been persistent enough to win the corner kick. Well, let's see what Spirit can do with this one. Yoshida thinks about who he'll aim for. Everyone back for APIA except Stewart. Decent delivery, and Daru was attacking it, but it's headed away. Takami drills it into the middle. It's cleared. And that'll allow APIA to step up well. I mean, Gonzalez might want to try and get that first, and Nicholas wins the throw in off Gonzalez. Here's Williams. I think he's just going to back pass, really the only clear option there, I thought. Now APIA fully stepped up and trying to press from the front with Stewart. Now Cornwell, right side. Finds Daru and first time ball to Petrados. Costa Petrados keeps it moving. Now Takami brought into the play. Broken up though by Monge. And Max Court does not get the decision. Takami again. And here's the Spirit goal scorer for today, Ada Mustafi. Mustafi just on the periphery of the box. Backwards pass. Takami looks up. Disguises it. Mustafi just about keeps that in play. Has a short option. Who's Yoshida? And now Mustafi battling for it, as is Sam Armson, and that's played off Armson, and that's the second ball that's gone out of the ground today. Now, APIA, that's going to be, I think, their final sub. The game, this will be the 5th and final sub for APIA Leichhardt. Actually, it's also going to be the 5th and final sub for Spirit. So I think it's Fabian Monge who's making his way to the bench for an early mark. And Fabian Monge, I think he'll be replaced. That looks like number 99, Franco Farinella. Yeah, it is. So one Franco brings on another as a substitute. And meanwhile, I think it's Simon Nicholas, who's the substituted player for Spirit. And he has been replaced by number 32, Thomas Mason. Now, can Spirit make this finish a little bit more interesting by pulling back another goal? We've got APIA camped deep in their own territory for now. Kaya Williams. And Dinkwell sure couldn't take any risks. When ball number 3 leaves Lambert Park. Yoshida, not a lot of room there as he resumes his battle with Cameron Fong. Played in, and, well, wasn't in for long. That's going to be an APIA goal kick, and you may see Kalach try to slow this down as much as possible. Now, so go back, I mentioned APIA's upcoming fixtures. Yeah, on Friday the 20th, they're away at Cromer Park, 7:30 p.m. kickoff there. Follow that Saturday 20th of February, a 6:45 p.m. home game against Wollongong. And then in round 5, an interesting fixture. I love seeing different venues on the schedule. For APIA in round 5, it's a home game, but it's not here, because on Sunday 8th of March, APIA have a 2:30 p.m. home kickoff against Blacktown City at Concord Oval. So it's going to be a bit different. I haven't seen that venue pop up in the State League schedule since Interlions used to use that as a venue. And then, while I'm on this note of APIA's upcoming fixtures, round 6, Saturday, 14th March. Just the small matter of a grand final rematch. APIA away to Rockdale Illingdon, 7 p.m. kickoff Saturday, 14th of March at the Illingdon Sports Centre for that one. Out to Mason. Now Mason had it broken up by Sean Simmons. Spirit throw right in front of the Joe Marston Pavilion. Yeah, it's good skill from court, good balance as well. Finding Jordan, and he'll get into the penalty area. Rory Jordan. Clean tackle from Mustafi. Had to be inside the box. Second challenge, also ruled okay by Sam Kelly. Now, for all that APIA corner kick. As I look at Spirit's upcoming schedule, 7 days' time, they're back at the Arctic Circle. Saturday, 21st of February, 5:30 p.m. home game against Sydney FC. And they finish February, Saturday, 20th of February, 5 p.m. It's Spirit are away to Sydney Olympic. Anyway, Stewart signals. Another flat delivery and goes all the way out the back, but off Gonzalez for a goal kick. And the ball going out right in front of content creation legend Jude Dolan. Very common to see him behind the goal. But APIA attacking, whether it's men's or women's, Jude certainly does a great job. Now, Stewart's lost out here, and now outside of the foot pass. Good run from inside to outside by Daru. Has a little bit of room. Sam Armson's joining the attack. Petrados is up there as well. Here's Yoshida. Petrados back to goal, and Stewart is able to win it back for APIA. Williams, decent spin. A skill from Williams. But then APIA, that's another good win from Caspers, and he's tried to go from a long way out as he lobbed the keeper well. Eddie Caspers, who's now pulled up a little bit sore, but with Marks right on the edge of his box, Caspers saw his opportunity to try and score from inside his own half. Marks had it covered though. And so Eddie Caspers has to wait for, what would you call that? His Danny Choi moment, I suppose is what you'd call that. A goal like that. Good vision though. And don't mind him trying. So what is he ticking over? Probably about the 88th minute here now at Lambert Park. And Spirit on the move with Daru, and it's going to be a corner kick. And it's APIA Leichhardt leading by 3-1 over Spirit FC in the closing stages. APIA's goals scored by Presley Ortiz, Jordan Cigretto, and a Jack Stewart penalty. Spirit got on the scoreboard via Ada Mustafi, and Spirit they're hurrying this up with the short corner to Mason. And Mason does beat the challenge. Throw in coming up. Petratus is that wide to be the short option. Again, they do not get past the challenge. And APIA battling hard to see this one out. Throw in is headed away by Sean Simmons. Now, Takami didn't like the forward options, but going back to the keeper allows APIA to step up. We're about 2 minutes away from finding out how much time added on there is. Well, that's assuming I remember to look at the board. Cornwell delivers from out wide. Played away by Farinella. Now back to Farinella. That's a nice ball to Jordan, who's got a lot of room, and the gold jerseys have to rush back. Decent ball. Max Court's got the touch. Max Court, and he couldn't get the elevation on the shot. Marks off his line. Right idea from Court, but I think he was just reaching a little bit too much to lob it properly. Good ball. Great ball from Jordan to find Court's run through the middle, though. Takami. Petrados. Here's the through ball potentially for Yoshida. And Yoshida He got some kind of effort on it, but he was put off by a great challenge from Shaw. And of course, if he got that wrong, that could have been very dangerous for Carl Shaw, but it was not. Flags up against Jack Stewart. Yeah, pretty quick ending to this one. Keeps going back and forth, back and forth. Yeah, well, Karlach, I think he might have thought it was going to go into the box. Instead, he's just going to send it clear. Plenty of touches for Spirit in this kind of part of the field in the closing stages. Can they pull another goal back? Petrados shoots from range. It's blocked. Jordan clears towards halfway, and Gonzalez is going to make this interesting. So Cornwell using his body, and Gonzalez, good chase to give his team a chance to establish a foothold in Spirit territory. And Cameron Fong. Not really, doesn't really have the motivation to hurry with the throw. He does take it, and Fong moves that to Yoshida. Takami runs into Caspers. Okay, and I think that's pulled back for a foul. It wasn't that challenge on Caspers that was ruled to be the free kick. Did I miss the fourth official's board again, or do they not have a board out there? I'm not sure. Anyway, I think we're into time added on. And Armson has the ball centrally. Now Sam Armson gets it back. Armson, and he was looking for Daru, but Farinella intercepted. Now, well, they might have given it back to Yoshida, and Yoshida shoots, and Shoki Yoshida scores. So we're going to have a grandstand finish here, and that was a neat goal. Armson as well, but Spirit, they get their reward, at least on the scoreboard, for not letting their heads drop. They were 3-0 down. It is now 3-2. We've had about a minute of time added on. Nice finish from Shoki Yoshida. His first goal of the season. Beating Karch from a tight angle. And well. Could Spirit do the improbable? APIA just go long. Yeah. For APIA, I think the strategy just keep the ball. There's a header for Williams. Farinello wants to try to win it back. Stepping up. Spirit, and now, well, they put Cornwell up front. It's kitchen sink time for Spirit, and it's really more up than forward by Shaw. Daru battling against Farinella, and he's worked it to Mason. There's a wide option as well. Mason finds the player out wide. Plenty of gold jerseys in the middle. Mason again's lost out to Stewart. And it's all hands on deck for APIA, trying to see this one out. We've had about 2 minutes of time added on. And that's off Williams for an APIA throw, which APIA you'd think would try and take this one in slow motion and run out the clock. Well, actually, there we go. I've been wrong again. This is a quick throw by Sean Simmons, finding Gonzalez's run. But off Gonzalez for a Spirit throw. Okay, well, no mystery. Who knows how much time added on there is? I certainly don't. Now Williams, and APIA backing off. Williams will move into APIA territory. He goes direct towards Cornwell. Cornwell wins the header. And Yoshida making a nuisance of himself once again before it's cleared by Court. And Mustafi has a look. Defending against Court, but Court, this is good work from Court. This will allow his teammates to step up. No, just try. Can't be too much longer, surely. But to be fair, there 3 goals in the second half and quite a few subs as well. Here we go on. Mustafi towards Yoshida, headed away by Shaw. Fong just playing it forward. Anywhere will do for APIA, but it's going to come back. Clever header from Cornwell, and now APIA really stretching, and they've got the job done in the end. It's 3 goals and 3 points for APIA Leichhardt, but credit to Spirit because they made them work for it at the end. APIA Leichhardt have defeated Spirit FC by 3 goals to 2, earning their first win for 2026. Presley Ortiz opened the scoring midway through the first half, and Jordan Cigretto scored to make it 2-0 to APIA just before the interval. Looked pretty safe for APIA when Jack Stewart converted a penalty with about 15 minutes remaining to make it 3-0, but Stewart did make it interesting in the closing stages. Adam Mostofi scoring to make it 3-1, and then Shoki Yoshida scoring in stoppage time to make it 3-2, but APIA end up taking the points at the end. And so we hope you stick around because there's plenty more coverage on the Football New South Wales YouTube page over the weekend. So games are currently in progress. You can tune in to the second half of SD Raiders versus Sydney Olympic. Olympic leading by 3-1, and it's currently 1-1 at halftime between Sutherland and Sydney United, but boys from Medenza Park are down to 10 men. Then kicking off at 7 p.m, Blacktown versus Manly. Kicking off at 7:15 p.m. is St George City versus St George FC, and then the League One men's match of the round at 7 p.m. is Rangers versus Spartans. We've got a couple of games tomorrow in NPL Men's New South Wales. Tomorrow 3 p.m, Wollongong versus UNSW, and tomorrow 4 p.m, Rockdale versus Marconi. But it is time to sign off from Lambert Park. So on behalf of Football New South Wales, our broadcast partners, Sportscast, and today's camera operator, Nicholas, this is Eric Subiano signing off. Have yourself a great Valentine's Day, and hope you can enjoy as much football and as much life as you can over the weekend. It's time to sign off from Lambert Park. The final score here is APIA Leichhardt 3, Spirit FC 2. See you next time.